when I decided to do my album, I really wanted to kind of, like being that Tassie hip hop was my upbringing, and still trying to bridge the gap, and also being in the position I was, I really wanted to make a Tassie hip hop album that kind of represented everything that we're all about, So there was a few aspects of, local dramas that I wanted to use in it. I did a song about the Port Arthur massacre and some of the conspiracy behind that. Like growing up in Hobart is a very touchy subject, and a lot hasn't been said about it since it happened. So being a platform where you can have your 2 cents and it's taken as acceptable, I used my album to have that. So pretty much over a year, myself and Da Vinci being a producer from West Hobart, that was amongst the Paralytic Poets, one of the original guys I kind of came up with. He moved over to Melbourne as well, and we really put work into that. And, wanted to, just really put on and like make something that we could use as an example for Tassie hip hop and try and push it to its highest point, just to represent, you know what I mean? And so I got a Obase distribution, and it was run through LMR. It was the label that, we created, and put it out and managed to, get a decent response, managed to like make a mark on the iTunes charts. I was really stoked with that, to get it out there and travel around the country, to see people that were in different states that knew songs about local stuff in Tassie was a big benchmark, I guess, you know what I mean, to hit. And and from that point, like over the last 2 years now, there's been so many younger guys. I think in Hobart for a while, like after my generation came through, because there were so many of us, it seemed that a lot didn't come through for a good 4 or 5 years. Like from the point of 2008 to maybe 2012, there weren't too many new people on the scene, and especially like to have a bunch of young, like a whole generation kind of come into the scene. There was nothing like that until the last couple of years. And Launceston, which was always quiet compared to Hobart. Hobart, when I talk about Tassie hip hop, a lot of what I'm talking about isn't Hobart, but that's because in 2006 there was only like maybe one crew from Launceston, and that was Altruism, and there's a producer up there, and there's a scattered few hip hop artists across the state, but Hobart seemed to be the only place that had a scene. And whereas now it's kind of is like flipped up on the younger generation, because I think maybe because of the lack of the hip hop in Launceston when we were younger, the younger guys there worked harder to kind of establish themselves and build their skill. So in the last 2-3 years, we've seen a lot of younger heads come through from all over the state, and in many ways hip hop is now blown up even more in Australia, so we're seeing a lot more younger guys from Hobart coming through. And from here I just hope to see that it's a lot's changed in the last 10 years. We have social media now as a comfortable platform that everybody can access. All of my travelling, all of my battles, all of my friends, everything was networked through social media, so I started travelling in 2010 with it, and haven't looked back. So I hope that all these the younger guys that are coming into it now have seen what we've all done and can use that as a platform to try and go one up on us and go further and work hard to network themselves and become mixed in with the rest of the country's hip hop scene. And even I want to produce. I want to personally get to a point where I can produce something that can be accepted and seen by the rest of the world, not just Australia. I felt that it was a bit of a stepping stone to kind of get recognition within our own country, being that we're the isolated island at the bottom. But